Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 15. What are you chasing? So this week I was reading an article by a gentleman named Leonard Kim on a website called Inc.com. And he was talking about Wile E. Coyote. If you remember the old cartoon from back when I was growing up, Wile E. Coyote was chasing the Roadrunner. And every day, every episode, he would find new ways to try to catch this Roadrunner, probably because he was a hungry coyote. But anyway, he had everything he needed to do so, supplied by the company Acme, which was interesting. But he had everything he needed to do, all the tools, all the resources at his disposal to be able to catch the Roadrunner. But he still failed. He caught the Roadrunner 0 times in 68 years. He might have caught him for a little while, but eventually the Roadrunner got away. So why did he fail? Why is it that he kept going? Why did he fail? Each time you get closer to your dream, sometimes it runs away. It turns into a game that yields nothing, and so we give up. An example I'd like to give is you spend a lifetime wanting to be rich. Every time you try, an obstacle presents itself, so eventually you give up. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what it is you want. If you could be anything, what or who would that be? When we were kids, growing up, we dreamed about something that we wanted, or someone we wanted to be like. Life gets in the way, though. Much like the movie Up, the old man wanted something, and he spent his lifetime chasing it, much like also Wile E. Coyote. So as adults, we've forgotten that just accepted the reality of life and moved on. This causes us sometimes to feel stuck and out of place. So I ask you, looking at your life now, what or who do you want to be? If there were no limitations on what you wanted, nothing could stop you. Would you leave your current situation to achieve what you wanted or to go after what you wanted? When you think about this, put yourself back in your childhood mind or think about what it is you wanted to be. For me, it was a superhero. Of course, I was a little boy growing up in the 80s when superheroes were big. But think about what emotions might come up when you're thinking about this dream. Maybe it's being a doctor, maybe it's being whatever it is you want. What did you want to be? And what emotions come up? And what would it take for you to get there? What is currently standing in your way? The reality is that it isn't who or what we want to be or do. It's the feeling we're chasing. Much like in the movie Up. The old man is chasing a feeling. He misses his wife. He wants to go to a place where his wife and him found special. And they went along all throughout their lives. And they tried to save enough money. They tried to do what it took to get there. But in reality, they realized that, hey, they just wanted each other. And I think that's what he missed most about his wife. That feeling is something we'll continue to chase until we get it. The fact is that we may satisfy the feeling for a moment or a season by buying something, by dating or marrying someone, but that will only satisfy us temporarily. The result is that we feel defeated and give up. We go to work every day and we're trying to get money to survive or money to pay off bills or whatever it is, and we feel defeated. We feel like, what happened? I wanted to be a doctor one day. What stood in my way? What stopped me? I'm not saying you're going to be a superhero or even that you can't be a superhero. I'm simply saying that being a superhero triggers an emotional response. And what emotional response are you wanting? So getting back to what Mr. Kim was talking about. Well, Wile E. Coyote. What mistakes did he make? I want to talk a few minutes about some mistakes that you make going along the way when you're trying to achieve your dreams. So the mistakes that Wile E. Coyote made, according to Mr. Kim, was that he worked alone. No successful person can ever achieve their dreams alone. We need the support of those around us for so many reasons I can't even list them all. But when you have that support network, it truly helps us because they will always see the good in everything we do, which is wonderful because when you're feeling low or you're feeling defeated, when these obstacles start to present yourself, your support network will always help. That was Wile E. Coyote's first mistake. He worked alone. The next mistake Mr. Kim talks about is that he thought he could use force. Think of a pushy salesperson or a boss who leads by force or coercion. It may work for a little while. They may work for a little while, but in the end, you will not achieve the true success or the feeling you are going for. The next mistake Wile E. Coyote made was that he thought if he chased it, he would catch it. When you hit a roadblock, you need to stop and analyze what's going wrong so you can go back and do it again. Another issue that he ran into is that he had tunnel vision. He was too focused on the mission, and oftentimes this can be the biggest problem. A mission is good. You got to know what you're doing and where you're headed, of course. But try not to get paralysis by analysis. Again, you want to go for the feeling. The mission will identify itself from there. Always, always, always. Think of how you will feel once you've accomplished this. He was also monomaniacal about the wrong things. And what I mean by this is he wasn't trying to solve a problem. He was trying to make life more abundant, I guess, more easy. He used everything he had to get what he wanted. And we see this all the time. People work themselves into an early grave because they make a lot of money. They're not doing what they truly desire, though. You want to be passionate about the right things for you, not what others say you should do. We grow up all the time and our parents tell us you should be a doctor, you should be a pilot, you should do this, what are you doing, what's your plan? And so we stress ourselves out worrying about impressing other people. But why? Of course, there are obligations. There are things that you need to do to survive. You've got to make money to support your family, yourself, all the obligations that you have. But what's stopping you from finding something that you can be passionate about? So I bring this to a close. I always like to ask a few questions. What dreams are you currently chasing? What's the feeling behind that dream? What are you doing or willing to do to get there? And honestly, I'd really like you to email me or hit me up on what your dream is. And I'd like to kind of know what you might be chasing and what's standing in your way from getting there. Thank you for listening to today's podcast and for your continued support.